the first 3 quarters of this year at 8.1%, 8.2%, and 8.4% in the third quarter. India is poised for about 8% growth this year. That makes India easily the fastest growing economy in the world. And this change, focusing on capital expenditure, was brought during COVID. Capital expenditures have increased significantly over the last 3 years. And states are also spending significantly more capital expenditures. And, when I was chief economic advisor, I actually had mentioned that public capital expenditure, especially in infrastructure, will crowd in private investment. That is also happening with the last 3 years. If you look at the corporate capex growing at more than 10%. So overall, clearly the strategy of focusing on asset creation and enhancing supply in the economy is working, and the numbers show for themselves.
Fiscal consolidation that we saw characterised in the interim budget, is that going to be underscored and underlined in the final budget after the election in July?
I think so. If you looked at the budget that was passed, because this was a pre-election budget, there were no SOPs, no election SOPs whatsoever. It was a very responsible budget. In the channels, when I was on the day of the budget, I called it a judicious, responsible, and a visionary budget, because one of the key steps that was taken was 1 trillion rupees of outlay for innovation. And I think that is something which is a very important aspect of the impetus that the government is putting on the economy. So overall, I do expect the focus on capital expenditure to continue. The fiscal math also is looking very responsible. The government delivered on the fiscal deficit target and is slated to be achieving the 4.5% fiscal deficit to GDP target for FY25. So overall, I think and it's been growth primarily that has driven the fiscal numbers to be looking good.